Cool, so let's switch gears a little bit. We are going to talk about printf. I've used it before. If you want to print something on the screen, we use echo. We can say, hello, how are you? And it prints to the screen and it gives us a new line. That's great. That's fantastic. It makes it really easy to work with. There's also printf. We could say, hello, how are you? We have to quote it. It has to be all one big argument to printf. We print that and it's kind of missing the new line, so we have to manually put a new line character in there. So why would you ever want to use printf over echo? Well, if you've used other programming languages, maybe you've coded in C or something, you know that printf is in C. I can do man3 printf because 3 is going to pull up the library section for the man pages for printf. And you can see that the function is here, and there is a lot of stuff it can do. I'm just scrolling down and doing page down right now. There's a lot that printf can do. It is for printing formatted data. So in my mind, echo is when I want to print something very basic to the screen. But when I need to format the data, when I need to massage it, when I need to change its format just ever so slightly, I'm going to reach for printf because printf in bash is really powerful. So let's show some of the stuff it can do, and let's show how it can be a little bit dangerous, okay? So here's what we'll do. We'll make a new variable, hello world. So we have this new variable s called hello world. We can echo $s, and this prints the variable plus a new line at the end. Makes perfect sense. You could do this. Don't do this. Do not do this. This is wrong. It will work and I'll run it. It's not a huge deal. Now, the reason it's wrong is only because this data could be coming from someone else. In our example, I wrote $s, so I know it's in control of the variable. It's not wrong. But you could imagine a scenario where you're taking that you're taking that data from a person. You don't want to ever give user specified data as the first argument to printf. That's going to be very dangerous. You want to put a print specifier in there yourself. You want to say, hey, %s, that means just format this like a string. %s new line means format it like a string and put a new line. And then the first argument that I give it will go to the first format specifier. So the % letter is a format specifier. The first argument here goes to the first format specifier. So printf will format whatever's in $s as a string. Hopefully that makes sense. When I run it, I get exactly what we would expect here. Now, the nice thing about this, why you would want this, is because I can say my string is, and then I could put parentheses around this. This is a very nice way of seeing how we're formatting this. So normally you just put like the variable inline here. No, you could specify a format here and then just apply it against the variable that you give it, which is kind of nice. It's a really nice way of seeing this. I like printf for very specific use cases. Now, there are some cool things here too. Let's not use that variable anymore. Let's go ahead and printf %s space %s new line. I can give it two arguments now. Hello world. So there we go. Okay, I just put a space here. I can put multiple spaces here, and then when I print it, we get multiple spaces in the output. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. What are some of the cool things we can do? Well, with %s, we can actually do something very unique. We can give it a number. I can say 5 here and %5s. Now when I print it, it looks exactly the same, kind of boring. So what happened? Let's make this 5 a 10. And let's make this 5 a 10. This is going to really illustrate the point here. Look at that. It printed hello and it printed world. But you notice what happened? There are 10 characters here and there are 10 characters here. Printf padded the argument up to 10 using spaces and right justified it. That's what happened. That's the power of printf. It is really cool. Let's go back to this example where we %5s and just give it A and B. Now we can really see what's going on. We have A over here with 5 spaces, so 4 spaces, and the 5th character would be A, 4 characters, and the 5th one would be B. That's what's going on. It's padding it up to 5. If we want it left justified, you put a hyphen here. This is not specific to bash. This is printf in most languages. If you're in C, it's identical what I'm doing here. You run this, and now it's suddenly left justified. We have 5 spaces here. We even have 5 spaces here. Even though it doesn't really matter, we just have a new line. There are 4 spaces after this B is what I'm trying to say. So cool. Let me illustrate this concept a little bit more. We can surround this. I could surround this in a less than and greater than sign. These are not special. These are just for aesthetics. So we can kind of see that A and B is justified to the left. If I get rid of the hyphens, it's going to be justified to the right, which is pretty cool. Another thing we can do, which I think is really neat, this is just printf specific as well, is I can put a star here. Now the star is special. The reason the star is special is because now, even though I'm only taking I have one format specifier here, I'm only taking one argument. Technically with the star, I'm taking 2 arguments, all right? I take a number and I take a string here, like hello. So now the amount that this gets spaced out is actually given as an argument. So you could take this from the user, you could calculate this on the fly, you could do all sorts of stuff. You could also put a hyphen here and left justify it as well. I could say, let's make it 20 spaces. There you go. Now we've left justified it with 20 spaces. So yeah, it looks a little bit hard to understand, but these format specifiers are incredibly powerful. Bash can also do more than this. This is just printf in general, but instead of %s, I can give it %d. %d means a number. So when I'm formatting a number, it just looks exactly the same. That makes perfect sense. I can also put this in front of it. I can say 5d, and now we've padded it over 5 spaces, which is pretty nice. Of course, we can do the hyphen in front of it, pad it to the left, so there is spaces to the right of it. You just can't see it. Here's the cool thing. We can give it a character here. Instead of saying 5d, I can say 05d. And you know what's going to happen now? We've padded the number with zeros. How awesome is this? This is super convenient to be able to pad the numbers with zeros like this so easily. It is just, it makes it awesome. Cool thing about this is if I give it something that's not a number, we get an error message. How cool is that? And it returns with an error message, meaning we can catch this in our code if we wanted to. If we wanted to code defensively, say we were taking information from a user and we want to check if it was a number, you could run it through printf theoretically. I wouldn't do it. There's some gotchas with it. I'll go over some of the gotchas with it. Now, like before, we've done something similar to this. Let's format a number, and the number we're going to give it would be 06. Do you see where this is going? We've done this before. 07, that works. 08, we get an error message. We get an error message because it's octal and it's too big. It does give us an error return code, so that is very convenient. I do appreciate that. So of course, with the leading 0, we can format octal and it will turn it into the number representation. So you can do like this and it will convert it to whatever that is in octal, which is so nice. The other thing you can do, which is really cool, is hex. I could give it 0A in hex and it prints 10 because that's what 0A is. I can give it FF and it will print 255. So you can use this to format your numbers. Printf, print format. You give it a format specifier. Super nice. Now, if I do help on printf, it'll say that it supports all of these. These are all of the format characters it supports. It doesn't give you documentation for them. If you want them, you have to look up the documentation here. This notation means look in the man pages in section 3 for printf. That's how you understand this sort of syntax that you might see. It supports some other options, though. You can see %b, %q, %big Q, and %t. We're going to talk about some of these. %q and %big Q are very similar, but let's talk about some of these ones that are bash specific. I really like this one. Printf, what was it? %q. Let's talk about that one first. Q, and then a new line. We can do foobar like this. We don't have to quote it, but we can. And it just prints like that. Okay, is that safely quoted? It's supposed to be safely quoted for the shell, right? Quote the argument in a way that can be reused as shell input. Okay, well, foobar isn't that scary to the shell. That's fine. What if we put a potentially scary character in here? Like a $ is kind of special to the shell, right? Look at that. It quotes it for us. It will safely escape it in a way that we can pass it back into the shell. So %q, very, very cool. It's a nice, cool option that they give you. The other one that was there was %b. And %b is cool because it will interpret \hex notation. A couple different backslashes, actually. I have to double check on this one. Expand / escape sequences in the corresponding argument. This one's really cool. I'm sure you can use it for more than I've used it for, but you can give it raw hex codes and it will just interpret them. So what I mean by that is I could say like FF and it will just print that to the screen. As you can see, it's this nice little question mark. It's an unprintable character. But if I pipe that into some sort of hex viewer, you will see that I actually got FF. So Bash can write binary. I have a video on my YouTube channel where I do BMP, bitmap graphics generation using Bash, and I'm able to do it because printf can write binary to the screen. So it's pretty awesome. I can link to that at the end. But one of the cool things about this is I could print like hello world, and then I could do a %b here, and I could give it 0a. So as you can see, it says hello world, and there's this period here with a 0a character. And do you know what a 0a character is? A new line. That's what it is. So I could put a new line right there if I wanted to. So yeah, kind of cute. It allows you to do like raw binary with it. And before I move on, one last thing I want to talk about with printf, which I really like. So let's say we say hello %s, and then the thing we give it will be Dave. It'll print hello Dave. That's super nice. What we can do is we can give it a -v argument. This is a bash specific thing. Give it the name of a variable, and it will write the string instead of to the screen. It will put the string in a variable for you. That is super nice. It's super convenient. It is a very quick way of saying, hey, format this, but also store it in a variable because I might want to use it later or reformat it or do something with it. So yeah, really cool. Printf, super powerful.